Some of the main takeaways from this lecture that I hope you gained are, one, the evolution of international human rights law with regards to land rights. Previously, international human rights was quiet on land rights. There was not a lot of explicit mention in some of the main charters, main treaties. That has started to change more through the interpretation of international human rights obligations by regional courts, such as the Inter-American Court of Human Rights. But it's also been taken up as a human rights issue in a number of national courts, as we saw in Canada, Australia, Malaysia. There's an increasing recognition of the importance of land within the landscape, the spectrum of human rights. There's also an increasing international recognition of customary and indigenous land rights, that there are different ways of considering tenure, and some of them are not formally recognized by land administration systems or the existing records, or that historical discrimination of indigenous groups resulted in the expropriation of their land or the formal denial of their ownership. Another important takeaway is, because of this complexity of land rights within the international human rights spectrum landscape, there's a need to be extremely careful in development and investment projects, whether it's working on forestry, supporting sustainable forestry extraction, timber extraction, or whether it's creating a national park, or whether it's producing a new agricultural investment scheme, a large rice plantation or rubber plantation. It's important to do your due diligence on who owns that land, taking into consideration the potentially marginalized, subjugated rights of marginalized groups, of women, indigenous groups, other ethnic minorities. The other thing I want to emphasize, the last takeaway, is the importance of strengthening land rights to sustainable development outcomes. When you're looking at the importance of land rights within a human rights-based development approach, it's important to consider, one, the justice, the equity behind it, but also how it contributes to effective, inclusive economic growth and development. I hope you've enjoyed this lecture. Thank you for the time.